And let's cast. Alright, so hello and welcome back once again to the WCL2 Grand Finals between BsK and L-Clan. These games, like I said earlier, played in 2004, a long time ago. But it's been very interesting to see how they've been played out so far. And there's been a lot of good games in this WCL2 tournament that we've seen so far as well. In fact, I think WCL 7 and just the WCL tournaments in general have been the most hyped and the most amazing, most appreciated tournaments in Age of Empires history. I think WCL were really onto a great thing, and they've always provided tons of entertainment. They've always been incredibly popular, and I think in going forwards, WCL style tournaments are the way to go to really embrace and engage a lot of people. So anyway, off to the far east of the map, in the grey, we've got BsK Cheat, aka Coven, playing as the Aztecs. Up to the north of the map, his teammate BsK Halen, playing as the Huns in the green. And their opponents to the far west of the map, in the teal, we've got L-Clan Sutra, playing as the Aztecs. And down to the very south, the very famous L-Clan Chris, playing as the Huns. So it's actually at mirror civs, and they didn't have mirror civs back then, so these civs must have either been predetermined or picked by the players themselves. We've got the Huns Aztecs kind of combination here, which is also very popular, as well as the Huns and Mongol combination. The Huns and Aztecs combination works pretty well, and of course in the Feudal Age there's going to be a lot of archer wars going on. Perhaps it won't be, because I always forget, hey, these are old games, 10 years old, and the concept of doing a flush was almost, or an archer flush was almost non-existent. Doing a skirmisher flush, however, was all the rage, so perhaps we'll see something along those lines in this game as well, and that suits me just fine. I absolutely love to see games with long drawn-out feudal wars. In fact, I was talking earlier, someone suggested before I streamed the RimWorld stream earlier about, a mod for Age of Empires that added the African civs and actually removed the standard civilizations. And I thought it would be really cool to make a mod for Age of Empires that added new civilizations and removed the current ones that we know and love. Added new civilizations entirely, but changed the entire format of the game almost. And, for instance, an African civilization sort of mod pack would be really cool. And in fact, I think it would favor feudal wars really well. And I had the idea that perhaps if that was to become a reality, that you would in fact remove the Imperial Age upgrade altogether, make the Castle Age upgrade cost lots more, and then introduce new and exciting feudal units so that you could have some really big feudal battles that actually have progression within the feudal age themselves. And I think that would be awesome, and it would certainly be very exciting to see those kind of battles. But for me, yeah, feudal wars are just the most awesome things, and fortunately the old games bring us lots of exciting feudal wars that seem to last for a long while. So the Aztec players then are likely to be drushing here. Cheat Coven already starting the not Coven, Sutra almost, I meant to say, already starting on taking 4 villagers to wood, so he's going to be looking probably for that barracks fairly soon, as we're close to that 6-minute 30 mark. We're just about 45 seconds away, and Halen and Coven there in the chat asking what they should do. They don't actually have a game plan at this point in time, which I find quite amusing. And I always wondered, back in 2004, if these guys would have actually been on voice chat, or whether or not they would have just kind of communicated via the in-game chat. But it's kind of amusing to me that they actually have no game plan at all at this point in time, and that's kind of crazy. So 6 minutes 30, the wood is very nearly in for Sutra. Are we going to see that barracks coming down any second now? It's likely. The drush was obviously viable. It was still done back in 2004. And those 2 villagers there are going to go and build that barracks up now. Halen, of course, going to scout that with his trusty scout cavalry. And he knows that's incoming. Now, it looks to me like Halen might still just do a standard fast feudal. The 3 villagers on wood here aren't going to be able to afford a barracks quickly enough. He could still get a barracks up and defend with some militia. But it seems like he's going to do a fast feudal anyway. 2 more villagers are queued at the town centre. Then he's just got to finish this boar. And after that, he should be able to click up with the resources he's got. This looks like a pretty typical fast feudal build to me already. 4 villagers on the berries. It's just identical to what we've seen, or what we would see or expect to see today for a fast 22 population feudal. So Halen losing his scout there, kind of unfortunate. And we've also got Coven on this right side doing a drush as well, with that barracks going up and the militia starting to come out. 5 militia drush, very common for the Aztecs to do. Now Chris's map's actually really nice. It's very well, it's okay, I guess. I mean, this backwood, you don't get much more protected than that. He's got an incredibly easy wall, but the downside to this is that his wall is, while it's very easy to do, while it's very easy to wall, he's going to end up walling his resources out if he takes the easy option. So he might have to decide to wall a bit further out of his base, maybe up here, to protect the gold back here. But Chris is a master of walling anyway. If you ever see Chris play and he's got a very open map, or if he's got an interesting map, he will find a way to wall it up, and he does some pretty insane walling tactics and stuff. I love it the way he walls. I think he makes it into an art, if anything. So Coven coming forwards, he's actually found a couple of Chris's sheep though, so Chris must be a little bit short on the food at the moment, though he is up to the feudal age. I think he's actually short by 2 sheep. We've got Coven bringing some back to his TC. That's a really good find, and in the finals of a tournament, you're not going to give them back out of good manners. You are going to take them and get every scrap of food that you can for free. Meanwhile, this drush is coming in now for Sutra. Halen's up to the feudal age though, and he did so very quickly. 21 population up, not 22. He did cancel that last villager and do a loom instead. And barracks is out for him. Unfortunately, he can't afford just yet that second building for the military production. The stable going up at the back, and he's going to do a scout rush. This could be interesting, actually. I mean, these militia are only in, well, there's only 3 of them at the moment, which is unusual. 4 actually coming in from Sutra there. He actually decided to skip on that last militia there. He skipped out on that. And I think that's probably a good thing, because there's no way he's going to get into the back of Halen's base here. Halen really walling himself in, forcing a choke point between his town centre and his walls. And there's no way that Sutra's going to get in there. And I think maybe it would be better for Halen to just counterattack rather than fighting these militia at all, and then fight them with the archers when he makes that transition. Now, meanwhile, Coven's going into Chris. Chris walling up his wood camp very quickly. And like I say, very easy map for him to wall. Just this palisade going across this right side. A little bit of a wall out from the back of this wood line. And Coven can't get in there, so that's really tough. Stable 2 ranges going up for Chris, and that's so unusual. You never see a player these days going for 2 ranges and a stable all at once, simultaneously. This seems like it's going to be very high aggression from Chris, and it's also going to be a very large feudal age by the looks of things, with 2 scout cavalry coming out already, skirmishes coming out already, no gold income at all just yet. It's going to be skirmishes and scouts, and it's going to be fantastic on this right hand side. Sutra though, unable to do anything at all with this drush. Could go to Coven, I guess. Coven's actually open at the back of his base. Could even hit this gold should he bring those units into the back here. I think that could work out very well. But Sutra at the moment sort of hanging around, not really hitting Halen's economy, not managing to attack his army. And Halen's going to send that counter-attack out now with those scouts to Sutra's base. Bringing them back, though. Actually bringing them back. I thought he would go straight for the counter here, which is surprising that he hasn't done that. Instead, he's going to fight, take down these militia as quickly as he can. These would be a lot more potent if they were upgraded to man-at-arms, and that's a really good micro as well from Halen there, leading them away with this scout cavalry and attacking with the others. These guys will get chased down, and these scout cavalry will clean up by the looks of things. Now, Sutra's pretty walled up as well, but his gold on this right-hand side is very exposed. It's not in a nice position at all, and I think he's probably going to be a little bit thankful that his drushes kept Halen occupied, but he did lose it very quickly, and he's not done any damage with it at all. So this resource is pretty much just thrown down the pan at this point in time, and Sutra is still not up to Feudal just yet. Chris on the right-hand side, though, going up with a big forward attack now. One archer mixed in, still no gold income, but a lot of scouts and a bunch of skirms as well. And yeah, once again, the Aztec player here, Coven, not able to do any damage with these militia. They are just sitting ducks now. They are just a target for Chris's army, and they're going to be very easy for Chris to take out, to be honest, as well. So both Aztec players kind of failing their drushes a little bit, but Fast Castle looks like it's on the cards for Sutra. I think that's a mistake, though, because he's not walled up at all. He will lose a few villagers here, and, well, a couple of spearmen coming in might deter these scouts. But look at this. Halen is so on the ball, moving his units away just in time, hitting those villagers for everything he can, and avoiding those spears pretty well as well, getting 2 villager picks, and to not losing a single scout. I'm also surprised that Sutra has also lost 2 sheep. Chris and Sutra both ignoring 2 sheep. I'm amazed at that. I cannot believe that Sutra would just let those 2 sheep go. And Chris as well, just giving 2 sheep to Coven at the start of the game. Really, really crazy stuff. You would never expect to see that. Sutra, though, pulling off that fast castle. It's not amazing, but he did, bear in mind, do a 4 militia drush as well, which definitely cost him a lot of time. So going up to the castle age on 33 population with no military, well, a few spears, I guess, but no militia or anything like that. Not too bad, actually, and we'll see what he does when he goes castle. Maybe we'll see eagle warriors coming out, because that just seems like the kind of thing they do. Halen, though, coming in, getting into the back of Chris's base, denying these villagers any gold whatsoever, and Chris has no defenses back here to deal with this yet at all, so this villager, whoa, could go down. I'm surprised Halen let that one go, and, well, he's going to get 1 more at the very least, surely. No, he's been forced away. That's Spearman there, coming out just in the nick of time to force Halen back. But these villagers from Chris, pretty weak, 6 health on this guy here, and not a lot of health on the other one that's coming over as well. 7 health on that. So Halen doing a great job with these few scouts that he has got, and now he's adding in a second stable as well, but he is on the way up to the castle age. Meanwhile, Chris in the back of Coven's base doing good damage back here, killing 1 or 2 villagers, it seems, on these deer here, and looking to kill more as well. There's quite a lot of scouts there, and it seems like cheap up to the castle age. Coven up to the castle age now, starting eagle warrior production, and it's so weird to see eagle warriors coming out in the castle age. They're getting focused down pretty quickly, though, and I know that the eagle warrior, it's a castle age up unit now. It's got +4 attack, +1 defense, but Chris is really owning this at the back, making great use of these scouts, even of these skirmishes who are doing minimal damage, but certainly helping and really hurting Coven's economy quite a lot, to be honest. There's a lot of units going down, and these eagle warriors will clean this up eventually, but they are getting focused down very quickly as well, and that's making it quite difficult for Coven to really mass them up enough to do the damage. Looks like with 4, he should be able to push this away, and Halen saying go, go, go. They should be able to push this back quite easily, and Halen saying go to his base. So, interesting stuff. Chris should be very close to the castle age now, we'd think. Whoa, he is really far off the mark. In fact, no. Of course he's far off the mark. He was still making scout cavalry. Look at this. Chris, still making scouts, and surprisingly, he hasn't done bloodlines. But yeah, still lots of scouts coming out for Chris. And Halen at the moment as well, quite a few scouts also. But Halen is already castle. He's already starting to make some knights at this point in time. And considering he went pure scouts in the feudal age as well, Knights coming out already, and that's exactly what he needs to fight the eagles from Sutra. The eagles which you just would never expect to see these days. It would always be crossbows for the Aztec player now, but it was always eagles back then. I think players loved their eagle warriors, which is fair enough. They're a cool unit. So Halen fighting uphill a little bit there, and of course these, like I say, these knights will beat these eagles one-on-one, provided they are on even footing. But Chris still in the back of Coven's base. I'm surprised. He's forcing a lot of a lot of villager idle time. He's also trying to pick off a few more villagers as well, which is very good. And I think Chris is doing a great job. If he keeps these scouts alive, he may as well upgrade to light cavalry, make them a little bit more worthwhile as well. But Bloodlines definitely needs to be done for Chris anyway, if he's going to do that, because he's got a lot of scouts here. He may as well make use of them. Blacksmith just going up now though, and I'm surprised. Chris is only just getting a blacksmith now, but it looks like he wants to switch into cavalry archer production. He still has 2 stables though, and in fact, yeah, he is doing bloodlines as well. So cavalry archer production could be on the way up very soon. We'll see what he does at the blacksmith here. And yeah, he's doing scale barding armor. So in fact, it's probably going to be knights to begin with, and that actually makes more sense. Knights much better at dealing with eagle warriors to begin with than just cavalry archers, sorry. So Halen and Coven both coming into Chris's base now. Very little Chris can do to defend this at the moment. His scouts alone not going to be enough, and like I was saying, if he could keep them alive, then light cavalry would be fantastic. But there was a big emphasis on the if he can keep them alive, because he's not managed to keep them alive at all. This last scout cavalry likely to fall any second now, and a lot of villagers going down for Chris here as well in this 2v1 situation. But Sutra trying to raid a little bit at the back of Coven's base, not really helping out too much over at Chris's base. No eagle warriors being rallied over there just yet, and Chris is in trouble. Chris has got knights in the back of his eco here, and his eco is quite large, but he's not added in a second TC or anything because he spent a long time in the feudal age. So Chris now up to the castle age, and knights being queued up very quickly there from those stables, and forging coming in at the blacksmith as well. And I'm just very surprised that Chris stayed feudal for so long there. But then again, he did do quite a lot of damage to Coven's eco, so perhaps it was worthwhile. Sutra managing to get in as well and do some damage here as well. Even on the upgrades, it seems. Yeah, both of them seemingly with the same upgrades. But Coven with slight numbers advantage there. And Sutra trying to raid as best he can. Now, Halen at the moment, his eco is tiny. I mean, it's so compact. It's nice. You can see all 3 TCs on the same screen. His walls are just hugging his farms. This is fantastic. I like the way he's built his base. It's so I don't know, cute almost. It's very I don't know, something you'd expect to see like a 1700, 1600 rated player do, but he's doing a fantastic job this game. He is score leading like crazy. His knight's doing a great amount of damage to Chris. He's still in the back of Chris's base, still doing damage back here, and he's got the same upgrades as Chris at this point in time as well. So doing an amazing job. Starting now to switch, it seems, into cavalry archers though, and starting to add those archery ranges in at the front. So yeah, I mean, Halen's doing fantastic at the moment. Those cavalry archers going to be a little bit more versatile than knights, but won't do as well against eagles. They'll still manage to kill eagles once they get massed up, but cavalry archers going to be good for hitting and running, much better than knights are for hitting and running. They can come behind the wood line, snipe a few villagers and run away, whereas knights have to really get up close and personal, take a lot of that TC fire as well. These guys just running wolves into Chris's base as well, and Chris looks like he's got nothing. 22 population now. The only villagers he seems to have out of his TC are on gold, and the villagers at the back of his base are just dead. Wow, Sutra and Chris resigning right there, and Sutra, you know, not really able to prop Chris up at all. Chris was just wide open to those attacks there. Halen and Coven 2v1ing him on this right-hand side. I feel a little bit bad because I feel like Sutra should have been there a little bit more. Sutra was trying to hit the back of Coven's base and try and raid Coven this game. But he could have done so much more had he gone to Chris's base and tried to help defend Chris. Because Chris down on 22 population at the end of that game, that's tiny. Halen's on 82. Coven's on 72, and Sutra's on 72 as well. It was just Chris who was getting pummeled. And it was 2v1 against Chris. So why not make that 2v2 and have Sutra send some eagles there as well, just to help out a little bit. If that had been the case, they might have lasted a little longer. But fantastic play by Halen anyway. Also, Coven doing a pretty good job in the Castle Age as well. So there we go. That's gonna be it for me for the WCL2 games. I just wanted to show a couple off here as